The new unemployment numbers will be released this morning. And what will they say? Yesterday, economic data came in and it was better than expected. And what about that stimulus check that's missing? Viewers get that stimulus check delivered to them after they file their tax return. All great news across the board. Meantime, why did two major Democratic senators stand up to Joe Biden, and what was his reaction on stimulus? I have all the big, great, exciting news on a special early mornings broadcast of Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I'm on sort of a modified set as we get ready for the new LALATE. So appreciate all your thoughts and wishes on a changed camera angle and a different look. It's just temporary as we get ready for the new show. So make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And over there is an instant chat. You can chat with your Purple Power buddies, or you can read some of the comments I read last night. When I had the camera angle lower in a strange position yesterday, people saying, dude, go to bed. You're so tired. You got wrinkles. You look old. You look fat. I'm like, yeah, it's called bad camera angle. When you're doing temporary shoots, you're not worried about the light or the camera angles. You see there's a light right here, right there. So it's just, I'm just trying to deliver the news to you in the best way, in the best format I can as we get ready for the new show. All right, there's so much happening across the board. I have a lot of details. I don't want to miss a beat. So let's get right to the breaking news. The breaking news as we start this new morning is that shortly after sunrise, you're going to see the new unemployment numbers. These have everything to do with your stimulus. Now, you're getting a stimulus check, $1,400 an individual, $2,800 married couple, $1,400 a child, $14 adult dependent. But it's all slightly dependent on a lot of economic factors. And the biggest one is one of them that you're going to see today. The first number you're going to hear today is the new jobless claims. This is a number that's released every week. If you've been with me since April 25th, you heard me detail it was 1.5 million for a while, then 1 million, then 800. It was 200,000 before the pandemic hit. Well, the number is still not improving. It's somewhere around 700. That's the first number. The second number is how many continuing unemployed people are there in the United States. It's about 20 million. It's going to stay somewhere around there. It's the third number that has everything to do with your stimulus. The third number is how many long-term unemployed people are there. It's currently about 4 million, about 40%. It's the worst number since the Great Recession. So this is the number that economists, the White House, the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, myself, and you should be looking for. Because as that number stays high, more stimulus is needed. As the number stays high, the Federal Reserve says it's not changing its economic policies. It wants you to have more stimulus. It's not going to raise rates. It's not going to change Fed policies. It's going to continue its buybacks. So if that number stays where it is, that's where the focus is. Now, yesterday we heard a new number. It doesn't determine stimulus directly like this one does. That number blew it out of the water. It was so good. It was the consumer spending number, and they had looked for a 1.2% number. Wall Street was looking for like 1.2%, and this is how much spending went on in the month of January. After a 0.7 decline in December, it blew it out of the water. It was over 5%. It was really high. The number was so high that immediately people were wondering, wait a second, does this mean that interest rates are going to go up? Does this mean the Federal Reserve is going to lack policies? Does this mean the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates? Does this mean the economy is going to tank? Does this mean inflation's around the corner? A lot of concerns. Federal Reserve said, calm it down. This is not how we determine our monetary policy. And it's not how you determine your stimulus policy either. The White House has made very clear that the number that gauges the White House's stimulus policy more than anything else, and rightfully so, is long-term unemployment. Now, the other number that came out yesterday is disconcerting for a lot of viewers and impacts SSI and SSDI especially. That number was how much does your price of goods cost? That's your milk and eggs. That number showed its highest raise since 2009. It was through the roof. It was the biggest rise in cost of things you would buy in the market, for example, in almost a decade. Now, this is not good, but the day showed real promise, real great promise for SSI and SSDI. Let me explain to you how. In December, Chuck Schumer said that he wants Joe Biden, by executive order on day one, to sign a order for giving $50,000 of student loan debt. That was December. About 3 days later, the president came out and said, I'm not doing it. You can do it by bill. I'm not doing it by executive order. Okay. So then came day one. Joe Biden didn't do it on day one. So Chuck Schumer said, you know what? I'm introducing a bill with Liz Warren, and it's going into the Senate, $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. But we're also going to urge for executive order. So they went to the White House, urged the president a second time. He said no, no. So yesterday, we got a statement from the president who said, reacted to the $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness bill. He said, no, I'm not doing it. I'll do $10,000 and I'll do it by bill. I'm not doing executive order. I'm not doing 50. I'll do 10. Well, guess what Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren said? Guess what? We're not rolling over. Excuse me? These are now the fourth and fifth Democratic senators who have now said to the president, they are not rolling over. They're going to be respectful of the situation. They're going to push, but they are not accepting a no answer. Why is this good for SSI and SSDI? Because in March of 2020, the same two people wrote the bill that gives you exactly what you want for SSI and SSDI. They don't need President Biden to remember what he promised on the campaign trail. They don't need President Biden to do something that he's promised he's going to do in December in his transition papers. They don't need that. They just need to reintroduce their bill. In fact, they don't even have to do even that. They can just change the date on the top of the bill and put it back into the Senate floor. Done. Done. The bill has all three provisions that we talk about on this channel. The $200 a month on top of your existing benefits you're on, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits. The new benchmark, different than COLA, CPIE, that would raise your benefits more annually. The new, the lifetime increase up to 20%. That's all in the bill. You don't have to do anything else. It's that simple. So, what else happened yesterday? Well, after Wall Street started reacting to this consumer spending, they were a little confused about where things were going. Ultimately, they thought that the consumer spending was an indication of rebounding economy. And immediately they thought, okay, well, then the next thing on path is a raising of rates. Not so. Not so. And here is where we ended the day. With 3 million people facing outages across Texas on Wednesday, 4 million on Tuesday, 4 million on Monday, there's a series of major problems across the country. First, we have these horrible grids in the Midwest and the Southeast and the Southwest that are down. They're down because of the cold snap. No electric, no water, no heating, no oil. A federal and national emergency has been issued for that area to deal with the situation. That's number one. Number two, there's some viewers that are a little confused about what's going on with the third stimulus package. Understand the third stimulus package, by its design, will be called for a vote in the House of Representatives February 22nd. Then it lands in the Senate. And now, for the first time ever, we have not one, not two, but 5 senators are saying they got issues with things in the third stimulus package. They want to go bigger and bolder. Ron Wyden, the Democrat of Oregon, explains basically the same words that Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren said yesterday. While the president is the president, and while the president is part of my party, Wyden's also a Democrat, he says, if I don't agree with something, I don't agree with it, and I'm not going to sign it off. And that's where he is on FPUC. That signals that Democrats won't hold up the bill, but will certainly push back on the vote provision to ensure the items go bigger and bolder. Under the third stimulus package, this is what you would get. An individual would get the $1,400 stimulus check. A child would get the $1,400 stimulus check. But there's more to it. If you have a child 5 years or younger, that child's going to get $1,400 plus $3,000. If you have a child of 6 to 17, $1,400 plus $3,000. If you have a student in college, $1,400 plus $1,700. If you own a business, $1,400 plus a $5,000 business grant. If you're a parent that had to pay with paid sick leave, let's say your kid's school is closed, you had to stay home and take care of the kid, $1,400 plus $1,400 per week based upon a $73,000 annual salary. Also the same scenario if you had to stay home because a family member's sick or because you had to quarantine or you got COVID. Then $1,400 plus $1,500 if you're an essential worker and made less than $25,000 a year. You see how there's a lot of things in the third stimulus package. And what's important to understand is that they're all there to get. But what's also important to understand is that the first and second stimulus are law, and there's money to get right now. If you're watching this video and you need rent, food, utilities right now, don't wait. Don't wait. Go get it. Go get it by reaching out to your city, county, and state for getting that rent utilities, saying, I need assistance because of COVID. I need rent assistance because of COVID. They have it. $300 billion was given to cities and counties and states under the second stimulus package. So if you had looked in December, they didn't have it then, they have it now. If you call them up today and you call up your utilities company and you still have confusion about it, reach out to the volunteers on the community page, this channel. They're in the top of the chat and also in the description. That's news.lalate.com/community. My job is to get you money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. That's the focus of this channel. Ultimately, I don't want you to wait around for the third stimulus package to kick in because there's money available for you this very moment. Next, we had really great news yesterday about the first and second stimulus check missing. If you're missing a first and second stimulus check, the IRS has now set up on irs.gov a special tool to help you file your tax return. And in filing that tax return, it'll show you the line item that you asked to get those missing stimulus checks. I had one viewer who got it within 2 days. Now, understand, if you're not required to file a tax return, you can still voluntarily file a tax return. If you're on SSI or SSDI, you don't have to file a tax return. But if you can voluntarily file a tax return to get these checks. And that's what she did, and she was missing $1,200 and $1,600. She got $1,800 in 48 hours. After she DM'd me and I told her, file the tax return, what are you doing? She did it. She went to an online tax preparer in person, a very famous company. They did it, and she got the $1,800 done. If you have questions or comments to today's recording, drop in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up after this video is a continuation of Early Mornings LALATE, in which I go over the provisions of the third stimulus package. I want you to know what amount you can get based upon what walk of life you are. Also have more news about what's happening today with the financial markets and those economic policies that can impact your stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay at LA for more.